Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I have another swatch video for you guys. In this one, I'm going to be swatching the Hershey Kisses Milk Chocolate Palette by Glamlite and the Mikayla Part 2 10 Pan Mini Palette by Glamlite. I'm going to start with Hershey Kiss palette because I think this one is only 5 or 6 shadows, so I figured I can do this one all in one go, and then I can do the Mikayla Part 2 palette. If you guys remember, this came in a bag that looked like one of the big share bags of Hershey Kisses, and then of course it looks like a Hershey Kiss. It's got the little thingy. It opens right here in the little part, which makes it a little difficult to open sometimes. I gotta like get in there just right. And of course this is like gave me trouble, but I have a pair of scissors here. They're just like little kid scissors that I can kind of like put in the little notch and kind of click it open. So, and it does have a mirror. This whole part right here is a mirror. It had a piece of like the peely plastic on it, but I didn't know if it was like an actual mirror or if it was just gonna be like this, which would have not made sense because you wouldn't really be able to see too much into it, or you could, but it'd be distorted. Okay, it's a 6-pan palette. So this is the shadows. Looks like we got 3 shimmer and 3 mattes. None of these have names, so there's that. But I will start, like, I'll go this way and then probably that way. Yeah. So, because I'll probably just swatch, I'll probably be able to swatch this all in one go, so. I really like Glamlite's shimmer formula. It is so nice. Their mattes are nice and they're smooth and everything. They swatch a little funky, and sometimes they're not as good on the eye as other formulas, but her shimmers are just wonderful. Ooh, that one's super pretty. All right, so this is the whole palette, the entirety of the palette. It is so pretty. It's very nice and neutral. My fingers are a little stained. So remember when I did it, I swatched this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So this is the top one. It's like a taupey, a very taupey shimmer. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. You can see it this way a little bit better. See, it's that one right there. And then this is the first matte. It's very pretty. That I think would be a really great crease shade. Then this one's it's a little bit cool tone, and then this one's like a little bit more warm. Then you have this one, which is the first shimmer right here. Is very like bronzy gold brown, very, very pretty, very metallic. And then the second one, the middle one in the bottom row, is also a shimmer, and it's this one right here, and it is probably my favorite. Like, it's not as shimmery and like in your face as the gold one, but it is so pretty. And then the dark brown, this one right here, is very nice as well. So like, I really do like this whole palette, like all the shadows as a whole. I think the palette was nice. And this one is not as bulky. Like, this palette itself and its packaging is not as bulky as other ones I've had. Well, the only other one I've had from Glamlite is the donut before I made this order, and that one was very bulky. But I've had other pallets in the past that have been like super bulky, and this one, even though it's got a weird shape, it's actually quite compact and not that big. Like, it's just a little 6-pan pallet, but it's very nice. I feel this would be a really good travel palette because it's, you know, a few mattes, a few shimmers, neutral, good, done, whatever. So awesome. I'm gonna pause, take this off, and show you my hand after to see if anything stains. All right, so here's my hand. I have a little shimmer on it, but no real staining. Like I said, I just have some shimmer on it, so not bad. So this palette was $18. I don't know, part of me kind of like, I don't know, I guess I'll just have to see how well it works on the eyes, because this one, I thought the mattes in this one swatched a lot better than other mattes from Glamlite I've had in the past, because usually, or other ones I've swatched too, because usually her mattes are a little streaky, a little patchy, you know, but these mattes were really, really good in this one, at least in the swatching. I will try this on my actual face and see how that goes. So nice. So this was $18. It is a little much, I think, for a 6-pan palette, but the packaging is really cute, and you know, I'm sure that's where some of that cost is actually being, is on the, for the palette itself. There's a whole bunch, so if like say you're interested in this, like you love the shape, you love the size of everything, you like the formula, she does have different ones. Like this was the milk chocolate palette. She also has like a dark chocolate palette, a Hershey Kiss with the almonds, the chocolate with almonds palette, and I think she had another one. I think she had like a lava, like the molten lava cake flavor one in a palette, and then there was one that's pink, but I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, now on to the Mikayla Part 2 10-pan mini palette. Again, it is velvety, which I know after a while some people they like it because it feels good and it's makes it look really nice, but I know a lot of people don't like it because after a while it gets dirty. And also I know sometimes some people complain because like the back's got a sticker on it. Some people complain that after a while the sticker will peel up and it's really hard to get it to stick that back down because it's on the velvet. This one, unlike the other Glamlite palettes I have been swatching recently, like the Hershey Kiss palette and the two Scooby-Doo palettes that I did a video on, I'm not sure in what order these videos are going to be going up, so this one may go up first, or the Scooby-Doo one might go up first, I don't know. Also, after this one, I'm going to be probably filming the video swatching the pizza slice palette, so I don't know what order they're going to go into, but you know, they are going to go up. Sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze. But they are going to be going up. They just may not be going up in the order I actually filmed them. Anyway, those palettes don't have names on them. The pizza slice palette does have names, and then this palette has names. This is the Mikayla, like I said, Part 2. I have seen her on social media before. I follow her on TikTok and I watch her TikToks, mostly when she does makeup tutorials and stuff, but I don't know that much about her, so I can't tell you if you know how usually they have the names and they mean something. I do know, I think this one's supposed to be chorizo, and that's not how you spell. I'm pretty sure that was chorizo, and that I know is her dog. So you know, I know that, but I don't know what other of these names mean. But I do know chorizo is her dog. And again, this is the palette. the top is sparkly, the bottom is matte. So I'm gonna do, this is set up the same way the Scooby-Doo palettes are, so that's how I'm gonna swatch them. I'll swatch them the same, where I do the top shimmers and then I do the bottom. I do love some of these shades of green though, like super pretty. But at least this will be a little bit easier, because then I'll be able to, you know, tell you what the names of these are. So I'll be able, ooh, that was pretty. So I'll be able to like really, it'll just be better for me in the long run. Oh, that one's stunning. I know one thing that like Mikayla always does kind of talk about is that how she loves green, and you can really tell because the green really comes through in this palette. Okay, here's the top row. And then this is what my fingers look like. They were already a little bit stained, but that one is stained from the really beautiful green shimmer in the middle. So starting with this one, this gold, that is Aspire. This kind of really pretty, kind of minty green. I'm trying to give you different angles of the shift. That one is called Blossom. This beautiful green, stunning, that one might be, I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's, oh god, that's called January 23rd. I don't know the significance of that date. I know I don't know when she got engaged, and I know she bought a house recently, but I don't know if that's when it was, because I, like, again, I see her TikToks. This brown is called Teddy. So pretty, oh my gosh. And then this one might be my favorite, and then the green is probably the second favorite. That one is called the Butterfly, and it is, let me show you what it looks like in the pan. It looks almost greeny, but it's one of those green red like shifty colors. Those are honestly one of my favorite like types of eyeshadows. They're always so pretty. So this is that, like I said, that green is stunning. I have a feeling though that's gonna kind of stain a little bit because it did stain my finger already. So I'm gonna pause, take this off, and I'll show you. All right, I'm back. Here's my hand, still sparkly. There's a little bit of the green and a little bit of like the gold left. I don't know if you can really tell. My fingers are still, this one a little bit stained, but not really. All right, so we're gonna go on to the second matte row now, and I will swatch. All right, so here is the second row of all the mattes. These are my fingers. They were very stained by the middle green shade, and the last two browns kind of together made that color. So again, here are the colors, starting with this one. That one is Charcuterie. This really pretty kind of sagey green is called Soft Center. The very beautiful foresty green is called Workaholic. This brown right here is Chorizo. And then this really dark kind of like, it's like it's a dark brown, but it almost it's a very like kind of cool tone dark brown. It's called Tea Time. So that is all the mattes. I'm going to pause again, like I said, take this off, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the palette. Okay, I am back. This is my hand. I actually did have to go, these are my fingers, I actually had to go like wash them because it was not coming off very well at all. And it was mostly this green and this brown were just smearing around and just being like just an uber mess. This palette, I am super excited to try this palette on the eyes, because swatching it, it looks beautiful, and quite frankly, the mattes in this swatched a lot better than the mattes in the two Scooby-Doo palettes. Like those swatched fine, they were just a little patchy, I felt, but they are like more like vivid-y colors, and sometimes those can be a little more difficult to work with, and these are like just browns and greens. So I'm really excited to try this, and I really do like how this is set up, where it's like you got a matte, or you got a matte, you got a shimmer, you got a matte, you got a shimmer, and they correspond to each other. So I could, you know, it could be really easy for me to like create looks. Like if I want it, like for when I try the palette out, I could be like, okay, crease, lid, done. Crease, lid, done. And kind of see how that is, and then start mixing and matching like later on. The two Scooby-Doo palettes were kind of set up similarly, where the shimmer on top had like a corresponding matte on the bottom. Not all of them were like perfectly matched, kind of like this one is like pretty perfectly matched. They weren't as perfectly matched, but they were still like really like close to where if you wanted to do that you could. Some of them were actually very perfectly matched, but so yeah, be on the lookout for looks for this palette. Like I said, I might just do the whole 1 2 1 2 1 2 thing, and as like my starting point. So yeah, so that was my swatching of the Mikayla Part 2 1010 palette and the Hershey Kisses milk chocolate palette. So yeah, these are really great palettes. This is on sale for $10 right now, or at least it was when I bought it. I think it's still on sale for $10. I can check it out, and then when I post this video, I will put it in the description below. If at the time of me posting the video, if this is still for sale, I will put that in the description below for anyone who is curious. But for 10 bucks, it's super pretty, and I think worth it for $10. Even if you used it only for like say the shimmers, I still think it would be worth it for $10. This is $18 for 6 pans. This one I feel is good quality, at least like I said from the swatching standpoint. I have to try it on the face, but I do feel this is a little overpriced for 6 pans, but also the packaging is really cool, so it kind of evens out. All right, those are my videos, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.